First of all, we will discuss what is organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is a chemistry involving the scientific study of structure, properties, composition, reactions, and preparation. It is a chemistry involving the scientific study of structure, properties, composition, reactions, and preparation by synthesis or by other means of carbon based compounds, hydrocarbons, and their derivatives. These compounds may contain any number of other elements including hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, the halogens as well as phosphorus, silicon and sulfur. What is vital force theory? The name organic is historical, dating back to the 1st century. This is the theory that certain compounds could only be synthesized from their classical elements earth, water, air and fire by the action of a life force possessed only by organisms. This is the theory that certain compounds could only be synthesized from their classical elements earth, water, air and fire by the action of a life force possessed only by organisms. Vitalism taught that these organic compounds were fundamentally different from inorganic compounds. These organic compounds, they were fundamentally different from inorganic compounds that could be obtained from the elements by chemical manipulation. Hydrocarbons. In organic chemistry, a hydrocarbon is an organic compound consisting entirely of hydrogen and carbon. Hydrocarbon is a compound consisting of hydrogen and carbon. Hydrocarbons from which one hydrogen atom has been removed are functional groups called hydrocarbyls. Aromatic hydrocarbons, they are also known as arenes, alkanes, alkenes, cycloalkanes and alkyne based compounds are different types of hydrocarbon. The majority of hydrocarbons found naturally occur in crude oil. Majority of hydrocarbons, they occur in crude oil where decomposed organic matter provides an abundance of carbon and hydrogen, which when bonded can catenate to form limitless chain, which when bonded can catenate to form limitless chain. Catenation is the self-linking property of an element. This is the structure of methane molecule. Its formula is CH4. It is the simplest hydrocarbon compound. This is the ball and stick model of methane molecule CH4. Methane is a part of homologous series known as alkane, which contains single bond. Methane, it contains carbon, hydrogen, this bond, this is a single bond. What are organic compounds? An organic compound is any member of a large class of chemical compounds whose molecules contain carbon. It is an organic compound is an member of a large class of chemical compound whose molecules contain carbon. A few types of carbon containing compounds such as carbonates, simple oxides of carbon and cyanide, as well as allotropes of carbon such as diamond, graphite are considered as inorganic compounds. What are the properties of organic compound? Physical properties of organic compounds typically of interest include both quantitative and qualitative features. Quantitative information includes melting point, boiling point and index of refraction. Qualitative properties include odor, consistency, solubility and color. First is melting and boiling properties of organic compounds. Organic compounds typically melt and many boil. Organic compounds, they typically melt and many boil. The melting and boiling points correlate with the polarity of the molecules and their molecular weight. Melting and boiling points correlate with the polarity of the molecules and their molecular weight. A well-known example of sublimable organic compound is paradichlorobenzene, the odoriferous constituent of mothballs. Second is solubility. Neutral organic compounds tend to be hydrophobic, that is, they are less soluble in water than in organic solvents. Neutral organic compounds tend to be hydrophobic, that is, they are less soluble in water than in organic solvents. Exceptions include organic compounds that contain ionizable groups as well as low molecular weight. Low molecular weight alcohols, amines and carboxylic acids where hydrogen bonding occurs. Organic compounds tend to dissolve in organic solvents. Organic compounds, they tend to dissolve in organic solvents. Classification of organic compounds. First, the organic compounds, they are classified into two types. First is acyclic or open chain compounds. Second is cyclic or closed chain or ring compounds. Cyclic compounds, they are divided into further two types, homocyclic, also known as carbocyclic compounds, and heterocyclic compounds. Homocyclic compounds, they are divided into two types. First is alicyclic compounds and aromatic compounds. Aromatic compounds, they are of two types, benzenoid and non-benzenoid compounds. First is acyclic or open chain compounds. These compounds contain alkanes, alkenes, alkynes and their derivatives. They are also called as aliphatic compounds and consists of straight or branched chain compounds. Open chain compounds like alkanes, alkenes and alkynes, they are also known as aliphatic compounds and consist of straight or branched chain compounds. For example, ethane, 2 carbon chain CH3, its name is ethane. Branched chain compounds, it is isobutane, CH3, and CH3, its name is isobutane. Types of open chain organic compounds, they are of two types. First is saturated compounds and second is unsaturated compound. Saturated, what are saturated compounds? Those compounds, they have carbon-carbon single bond, and unsaturated compounds, they have carbon-carbon double bond or carbon-carbon triple bond. First is saturated compounds. Saturated compound is a chemical compound that has a chain of carbon atoms linked together by single bond. Compound that has a chain of carbon atom linked together by single bond and has hydrogen atom filling all of the other bonding orbitals of carbon atom. Alkanes are the example of saturated compound. Example is propane, 3 carbon chain. It is a saturated compound having carbon-carbon single bond. Alkanes. Alkanes are also known as paraffins or saturated hydrocarbon. Alkanes are chemical compounds that consist only of hydrocarbon, carbon and hydrogen. They consist only of hydrocarbon and bonded by single bond, that is, they are saturated compounds. Alkanes belong to homologous series of organic compounds in which the member differ by a constant relative molecular mass of 14. Why alkanes are known as paraffins? Alkanes are known as paraffins. Why? The alkanes were originally called paraffins, which came from the Latin word parum affinis, which means little affinity. This phrase was used due to the low reactivity of these hydrocarbons. Due to the low reactivity of these hydrocarbons. When alkanes do react, the reactions are usually quite vigorous. Saturated hydrocarbons. These are the examples of saturated hydrocarbon. Saturated hydrocarbons are the simplest of hydrocarbon species and are composed entirely of single bonds and are saturated with hydrogen. The general formula for saturated hydrocarbon is CnH2n plus 2. The general formula for saturated hydrocarbon is CnH2n plus 2. These are the examples of saturated hydrocarbon. First is methane. Methane CH4. This is ethane, 2 carbon atoms, carbon single bond, 3 carbons. Its name is propane, 4 carbon chain. They are linked by carbon single bond. Its name is butane. Next is unsaturated compounds. An unsaturated compound is a chemical compound that contains carbon-carbon double bond. It is a chemical compound. Unsaturated compound. An unsaturated compound is a chemical compound that contains carbon-carbon double bond or carbon-carbon triple bonds, such as those found in alkenes or alkynes respectively. Saturated and unsaturated compounds need not consist only of a carbon atom chain. Unsaturated compounds like alkenes, example is pentene. It is a 5 carbon chain and double bond is at first position. So its name is pent, 5 carbon chain, pent 1 ene. So its name is pent 1 ene. Second example, it is also a 5 carbon chain and the double bond is at second position. So its IUPAC name will be pent 2 ene. Examples of alkyne, it is a 5 carbon chain and the triple bond is at first position. So its name, IUPAC name will be pent 1 ene. So it is an example of alkyne. Similarly, in this case, the triple bond is at second position. So these are the examples of alkynes and these are unsaturated hydrocarbons. Unsaturated hydrocarbons have one or more double or triple bonds between carbon atoms. Those with double bond are called alkenes. Those with one double bond have the formula CnH2n, and those compounds containing triple bonds are called alkynes with general formula CnH2n minus 2. The compounds with double bond, they are called alkenes. Those having one double bond have the formula CnH2n. Those containing triple bond, they are called alkynes with general formula CnH2n minus 2. The simplest acyclic alkenes with one double bond or no other functional groups form an homologous series of hydrocarbons with general formula CnH2n. The simplest alkene is ethylene or C2H4, which has the IUPAC name ethene. This is ethene, 2 carbon chain having double bond. So its IUPAC name is ethene and simple name is ethylene or C2H4. An alkene, olefin or olefine is an unsaturated compound containing at least one carbon to carbon double bond. Why alkenes are known as olefins. Alkenes are also called olefins because they form oily liquids on reaction with chlorine gas. Alkenes, they are also called olefins because they form oily liquids on reaction with chlorine gas. Alkynes. Alkynes are hydrocarbons that have a triple bond between two carbon atoms with general formula CnH2n minus 2. Alkynes are the hydrocarbon having triple bond between two carbon atoms with general formula CnH2n minus 2. Alkynes are also known as acetylenes, also refers specially to C2H2, and its IUPAC name is ethine. Like other hydrocarbons, alkynes are generally hydrophobic but tend to be more reactive. Next is cyclic compounds. They are also known as closed chain compounds. Cyclic compounds whose rings are made up of only one kind of atom, that is carbon atom. They are called as homocyclic or carbocyclic compounds. Cyclic compounds are those whose rings are made up of only one kind of atom, that is carbon atom. They are called homocyclic or carbocyclic compounds. Aliphatic cyclic compounds are called alicyclic compounds. For example, cyclopropane. Its name is cyclopropane. And second is cyclobutane, and its name is cyclohexane. 6 carbon atoms in a ring, its name is cyclohexane. 4 carbon atoms, so the name is cyclobutane. 3 carbon atoms in a ring, they are cyclopropane. Types of closed chain organic compounds. First is homocyclic compounds and second is heterocyclic compounds. First is, what are homocyclic compounds? Its example is benzene. It is a homocyclic compound of 6 carbon atoms bonded together in a hexagonal ring with one hydrogen atom bonded to each of carbon atom, bonded to each of 6 carbons. Homocyclic compounds are the molecules that are or contain ring structures and consists only of carbon atoms within a ring. They are homocyclic compounds. Homocyclic compounds are of two types. First is alicyclic compounds and second is aromatic compounds. First is alicyclic compounds. An alicyclic compound